Hey guys, welcome to Hammerpaints. We're going to do a how-to or how I paint the Hetzer. I did do an assembly video. It didn't come out too good, so it's a shame because now it's already assembled. But if you have a look, I've basically just assembled the gun barrel. I've got my commander. Well, he's just the tank commander, and I've got like a guy here, and I want to sort of simulate. He's receiving a bit of information from somewhere about some enemy troops or whatever. So I've got the tank commander out with his binoculars looking, and this guy receiving some information. It's sort of how I wanted to model these guys. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a coat of Mr. Surfacer. I really like this. As you can see, I've got the tracks separate. You can see that lovely detail on the tracks. Now I've cleaned this model up, and so let's put a coat of Mr. Surfacer on it. Now I've shook this pretty well. When we spray, and I'm doing this with one hand, light passes. So basically, you don't want to be up on the model like this, because all you're going to do is get this mass amount of paint on it. It's going to be running. It's going to look crap. So you want to come back away from the model about, if you look here, I know 15-20 centimeters, and just give it a pass, just a light pass by, just like that. Not too much. That's all you want. And that's it. That's all you want. Now you want that to dry. If we look here, I've got my tracks. I'm just going to prop my track up like that. Same thing. That's it. That's all you want. Let that dry. Do the same to the other track. Got nowhere to put the damn thing. Didn't think about this. And that's it. Leave that dry. Oops, sorry. Leave that dry. Then come back and repeat the process again. But you can go just a little bit heavier on your spray. Like, you don't have to stay the same distance away. You don't have to stay as light as that. Just that breeze by. What that's going to do is basically give something for the next layer of paint to grab onto and not run everywhere. And it'll give you a nicer and more even coverage. I've found that's the best way. A lot of people just outright base coat the tank straight away. I always found that it's a better result this way, and that's just what I do. So, hey guys, welcome back. It's time to start spraying the tank. Now, basically, I'm using a colour which is by Mr. Hobbies. It's called Dark Yellow. I haven't tried this before, so I'm going to give it a go on this tank. Also, I've thrown in some retarder, which is a slowing agent. It's an absolute must when you're airbrushing. I really don't think you can get away with not using it. It just stops tip dry and all sorts of things. So what I've done is I've mixed it up in an external source. I don't believe mixing it up in your airbrush. So basically, what I've done here is I've got an old G-dub pot, and I've just cut this little bit out, so when you're pouring it into your paint cup, you can squeeze it and make a little funnel, and you probably waste a drop maybe or two. I mean, you thin your paints down enough, it should run in there. So basically what we're going to do is just apply a real light coat. All over the tank. So I've just tested my brush, and here we go. That's all you want. Nice and light. Same. You want to do the same sort of process as when you're base coating it. Now I've turned the compressor off so it won't turn on. I use a big industrial compressor. Compressor's a compressor. As long as it produces air and gives you air at a constant rate, you can't go wrong. I've got my PSI set about 18 for base coating. I'll go down to about 10 to 12 when I start doing some camos and stuff. But as you can see, that's pretty much it. You don't need to be an expert to do base coating. I think base coating is a terrific way to get familiar with the airbrush. I'm just being quite generous in the areas I spray. I'm being light about my spraying, but I'm not avoiding it either, sort of thing. I'm throwing down a nice even colour. A bit all over the place today, guys. I'm not feeling the best, so I'm sorry if I'm a bit wafty. This is the first time I've attempted to do anything like this as well, so I don't know how it's going to come out, but we'll see how we go. So just get an even colour. I think that'll be about it. I think I like this Mr. Hobbies. It's spraying really nice, so smooth and consistent. I didn't think it'd work. I'll throw down, get some colour onto these road wheels, and idler and sprocket. Same thing. Get an even coat, but I don't know how to explain it. Be generous about it, but also be light about it. So don't go on, make sure you're getting some paint on it, but don't go and spray it so it starts running everywhere and creating more of a problem. Now these will be, I'm going to do these different colours, these road wheels, I'm going to have a green one or whatnot, but I just wanted to throw down just a base coat at the moment. Since this is the I'll primarily be using this colour. I'll do the whole tank in it. And as you can see, I have absolutely no problem with tip dry because I'm using a retarder. And the retarder is going to lengthen the time of the drying process, but it's a small price to pay for no problems. And you want to get into all the little nooks and crannies. That's the beauty about that, and that's why these airbrushes are great. Now I didn't prime the model. I didn't prime the model with the airbrush because I find, I don't know, if I was going to do a like a competition piece or something like that, I would probably prime it with the airbrush and do all the bits and pieces. But because this is only a tabletop piece, I'm not too concerned about it. So I mean, I want a nice job. You pay a lot of money for these things, so you want a nice job. I'm just going to grab this soldier's head, and I'm just going to spray just getting underneath the barrel here. don't see a lot of this here. You don't see a lot of all this bits and pieces here, but I'm gonna spray it anyway, just so I know the job's all done. Now that's my base coats. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a light brown, and I'm going to apply some shade with my light brown, and then I'm going to go back with my base coat, and I'm going to go back over the tank and feather out some of those shades. So that's that. Oh, and to clean a brush, I simply, where are we? So to clean my brush, I simply just use water. I've never used any products. I've never had a problem. I don't take my needle out that often either. I very rarely take my needle out, and I've never had an issue with my airbrushes. I've only ever used water in them. I think you can use. Some people use alcohol, and I don't recommend using alcohol for acrylics because you can gum it up. Some alcohols will react with the acrylics and make it go all gummy and yuck. If you're using Tamiya paints, yeah, for sure, they are alcohol based. So yeah, by all means, use an alcohol to clean up if you want, even into thin. But just with these sort of acrylics, Mr. Hobbies and stuff, I just use plain old water. I heard Windex eats the lining of your brush out. I find that hard to believe, as a lot of these brushes are made for commercial quality. So a lot of car places, detail auto spray painters and stuff use airbrushes all the time, and some of the chemicals they'd throw through them would be pretty harsh. So I can't see Windex hurting too much. As for the rubbers and stuff, well, terps, you can use terps, and that's pretty potent. So I don't know. I think if you do use Windex, just to be on the safe side, make sure you run a heap of water back through your brush just to clean that out. Alright guys, okay guys, let's get into some shading. So basically the shading I've mixed just up a little bit of flat brown. Basically what we're going to do is on our base coat here, we're going to go into all the recesses. So around the gun mantlet, around the exhaust, in here, just stuff like that, and basically that's going to give us a bit of a shade. And when we go back over with the base coat again lightly, we're going to get hopefully we're going to get a nice shade colour. Same with the wheels, you can go around in the recesses. Now basically, as I said, I've just used the flat brown, a couple of drops of retarder and thinned with water. With most acrylic paints, that's all you need is a bit of water. Also I'm going to get up underneath the hatches and stuff like that. So let's start. So we're going to give it a little bit of a test. Now my pressure's too high, I haven't turned it down. So I think I'm at about 10 now. We're going to get in quite close. If you've got your pressure too high, it's going to spray crap all over the place. So we want to keep it fairly low in the pressure. So let's have a look here. That's beautiful. So basically we're going to come in around our gum mantlet here. And you can absolutely see that this Iwata can do exactly what any other brush can do. Now I'm going quite fine there. I could go finer if I want. I want that little bit of a spray pattern there, but you can see that there is no need to go out and get yourself a super expensive brush, especially when you're learning. I mean, it's fine for later on in the hobby. As I said, I've got an Eclipse and I still use this Iwata Neo, which is actually, it's not actually even Iwata's brush, it's actually made for Iwata. The whole thing is Iwata, I think, except for the needles. So I'm just going to get all these in here. Now I don't know what they call this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they call this colour modulation. I think this is what colour modulation is.
road wheel up. So I want to Rightio guys, I'm back. Here we go. Now we're going to go back over with our base coat and give it another light colour, and hopefully that's all going to show some shading. So hey guys, so now what we're going to do is the camo scheme. If you have a look, you might see it's kind of glossy. It's touch dry. It's sort of a little bit tacky. That's the retarder, but it's fine to apply like some colour over the top. Now I've experimented with this. A lot of people are going, "Oh, you're mad! It's not dried yet. Don't apply that." I've experimented with it before, and it doesn't make a difference. So it's dry enough to throw another colour on. It's only touch, like it's just tacky from the retarder. You wouldn't pick it up and play with it at this stage, but it's fine to paint over it. So the camo pattern that I'm going for is going to be a squiggly line, like a squiggly patch. And I'm going to put this Dunkergelb, or this dark yellow, dots in the middle of it. Now you can do this as a hard edged camo pattern, or you can do it as a soft edge camo pattern. I'm going for the soft edge. So let's go. I'll throw down a patch and I'll show you what I mean. And this is an example of the Iwata at work here. Basically nothing wrong with this brush at all. This will prove it. Just like that. You can see, like I can get beautiful patterns with this brush. You can see this brush is absolutely perfect for this type of work. We'll throw another one down. I'll throw a larger one sort of up. I always test. I don't just go straight over to the model, if you notice guys, and then bang, spray and start spraying my colour. I always test just to the side, make sure I don't have any tip dry or clog. I'm pretty confident that I won't, but there will be that one time you don't check and you'll push the button, you go, oh crap, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden it'll just go bang and just put this. And 9 times out of 10 happens right at the end when you're just about finished. So let's put another one down. You can, like that. So I'm going to go up here. Like that. Okay guys, I'm back. As you can see, I've got all the brown patches down, just in that sort of randomised squiggly state. Now you can see where there's some patches in between the brown, in here and stuff. I'm going to apply some green, and I'm going to use Reflective Green by Vallejo. Same process, bit of retarder, and simply thin it with water. And we're going to do the exact same thing, except this time we're going in the spare spaces. But what we want to do is we want just one edge of the pattern to touch one brown pattern. So you don't want a bit in here sprayed out, touching there and there. So if we put a pattern in here, we want it to sort of go in there and then here, sort of just one pattern per. And then you want to try and get some in the open as well. So it's in frame. Alright, here we go. just like that. Now I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. And same here. I'm going to take this pattern around here, and probably finish it just there, like that. And that's it. I'm going to do one in here in the mantlet. Take it to there. Like so. And we just continue. I'm going to show you how to do the dots. Take a toothpick. You want the dots to be round. Bang it on the table. Bang your toothpick on the table until you get a point that's going to give you a reasonable sized dot. It's going to give you the right dot. So let's try this. It's probably just about going to be perfect. As the paint runs out, don't go back and fix it. It's going to give you the illusion of different dots being weathered at different times when we apply our weathering, so that's perfect. Different size dots are also desirable. So basically, all these dots, all these Dunkergelb dots, they go inside the green. Make sure you just, when you do this too, clean your toothpick off every now and again as well. Because you get a bit of dried paint on there and it gunks up, and then it'll put a dot on there that's sort of got a funny texture to it. And that's it. It doesn't take long. It takes, you know, throwing a few dots down won't take long at all. So we do the Dunkergelb dots there. I'll be doing some, you get some in the brown as well. Like that. And Bob's your uncle. Alright, I'm going to do this and come back. Hey guys, welcome back. And we've had the dots put down. So that's all your dot work done. So it didn't take me too long at all, and it definitely adds to this camo scheme. The very, very cool thing about Hetzers is they had really elaborate camo schemes. Now there was ones like this, and then they had all in where the dark yellow is there. They had green dots and brown dots, and you know, vice versa, all over the tank, alternating like P dot camo as well. I'm not going to that extent with this one. I'm just going to keep it at this, just dots in the camo. Once we weather it up, it should look quite nice. It's already coming together. It's given, you know, it's starting to come into effect now. Now all that's left to do is varnish, coat it in varnish, protect it, so we can start adding filters and start doing all the camo work, weathering and all the detail work. Then we've got the soldiers. When I go to when I go to varnish it, I won't be varnishing the soldiers, so I'll be doing it through my airbrush as well. I'll be just varnishing the tank, and that's it. Because I'm going to be using some, I'm going to be using white spirits and some oil paints, and I'll make my own washes and filters and that up, and I'll show you how to do that and the effect you get, because we're going to weather this quite a lot. I'm not going to take it back to chip, like heaps of chips, just paint weathered. So, alright guys, cheers, eh?